Welcome to another Build Day Live video here at Cohesity. I'm Alastair Cook and I'm joined today by Rawlinson Rivera. Rawlinson, you got an interesting title here.
Yeah.
What is it that you do?
I'm the Global Field Chief Technology Officer at Cohesity.
So you're the kind of Chief Technology Officer who was out talking with customers and building out the ideas of how products will work and helping them to understand it?
Absolutely. And my role, it's interesting here because I'm within the engineering organization. So it's that sort of translation between bring the feedback directly from the customer to the engineering organization, and we do that and kind of keep things as tight as possibly can.
So what I wanted to discuss with you was really what the vision is for Cohesity. So for customers who are thinking about deploying out a Cohesity solution now, what should they be thinking about in terms of the problems you solve now and the problems that you'll solve in the next 3 to 5 years?
You know, that's pretty interesting because I tell you that when I first came and joined Cohesity, we struggled with the definition of what, we were trying to do. We knew it. I spoke with Mohit, obviously that's his vision and his thing, but it's the time passed. Now we can see how things get a lot better. And the vision is basically to put it in an analogy the best way we possibly can so that people can relate to it is like, look what happened in the consumer space and in terms with regards to the amount of devices we used to carry before to achieve a couple different things: a calculator, a camera, a flashlight, a phone, all those things.
And it would be really inconvenient to carry all these things, so you'd only carry some of them some of the time.
And then also not only that, but like if you wanted to connect one with the other, it was a hassle. You couldn't do that. Some of them, they started evolving and things kind of worked out, but essentially they were cumbersome. So for us, for Cohesity, it's basically kind of that similar approach where we're collapsing a lot of the silos that exist when it comes to managing and dealing with applications and data. By doing so, we mitigate a lot of the risks of operational management. We eliminate the potential inflexibility and ability to do many of the things you want to do effectively and more streamlined and all that kind of stuff with a platform instead of a single type of product. Right. So the deal is that much like the iPhone came and the smartphones came along, they deliver a number of applications, they did a couple of different things, and they leverage whatever technology we could consume at that point in time, but they were meant for more. Our case is exactly the same. Today you learn, you use Cohesity for a particular purpose, whether it be data protection, data mobility, whichever one you want it. But down the road in the future, as you evolve, that same platform gives you the ability to continue to grow and kind of do those same things that you were now looking into without having to introduce yet another silo, more prone error, more risk, more things that you might want to do. And that's kind of like how we do it.
So you often are getting engaged initially to do a data protection, essentially a backup kind of scenario. So we're looking at a now software-defined platform, because historically we expected it to be a hardware appliance that would turn up from Cohesity. Can you talk a little bit about how that changes the way Cohesity gets deployed?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think luckily I joined the company at the very, very early stages, so I kind of went through that and know. So our first go-to-market was with an appliance. But very quickly, the idea and the vision was to expand into a software platform. Well, it's all about the software stuff all the way, right? So we do have an incredible product for data protection, but that's just one thing. That's just one suite of applications that sits on the platform. And we do get called in for that a lot. But the other things we get called in for is also like any sort of cloud existence, because they're not just about the data protection, but the data portability, the access and other things that we do. But by being in the cloud natively, how we are now, and we introducing the rest of the product as software, like customers can get and use their own choice of hardware. We have partnerships with Cisco and HP specifically on certain SKU and type of reference architectures for these devices, but we also do that with other companies, Dell and all those things. So it is to the customer to use their choice of hardware. None of the hardware components or our software is not relying on any specific hardware feature or capability. The better, the faster, sure, everything gets better and all that, but what we deliver is solely based on the software that we created, and it's entirely by itself.
And that's the same software platform when I'm running same software when I'm running that Cohesity platform on premises, across my branch offices, and then as I'm integrating more cloud, so I may be doing DR to the cloud as one of my options, or the data mobility, the ability to stand up a test dev copy of my environment somewhere.
That's probably one of the most interesting, appealing factors of the platform. It doesn't matter where you deploy it. It doesn't matter what instance of it is, whether it be cloud, virtual appliance, a physical appliance, or whatever it is. It is exactly the same software, exactly the same UI, the same management, the same interface, the same concept, all exactly the same and now really cohesively managed as one entity.
And it's that cohesively managed that's been really important. We saw over the last year Helios coming out. How does that play in the space?
You know, Helios is a very unique and important animal, as I like to call it. You can see Helios, that's what we like to call a manager of managers. You know, one of the toughest challenges that the enterprise faces now, combining cloud and public cloud, a multi-cloud world, and you know, the on-premises type of data center, the manageability of these infrastructures becomes, you know, very challenging to maintain and keep up. Helios introduces the ability to see everything as one, truly as one. It doesn't matter where the cluster or the instance is deployed, whether it be on-premise, whether it be on a region of a cloud or a particular availability zone, it doesn't matter, or whether it is on a building, wherever it is. It's managed as one, and it doesn't matter. It leverages the ability to kind of simplify some of the customer-related problems. It's Smart Assist. We leverage, you know, machine learning to kind of get rid of some of the things that become, you know, somewhat prominent in terms of, you know, the hardware failing and things of that nature. We can actually do that and help customers kind of mitigate some of those problems, along with many, many more of the things that we do. But Helios is essentially the manager of managers that kind of brings all this multi-cloud world and the on-premises world together and manage it as one.
So as customers are adopting Cohesity as their data platform, what sort of things should they be thinking about for the next 3 to 5 years of their life with the current implementation with Cohesity?
There's so much, but let's just start early, easy with one of the things that we do we're the best at, you know, I think, which is the data protection. If you have the ability to consider a modern and evolved sort of implementation of data protection and recovery, and we fit that mold, great. You'll start there.
Yeah.
It is the easiest way for us to ingest your data and protect your data and let you do what you're going to do with it, which is obviously the most valuable asset that you have in your business. After that, you can then consider some of the other capabilities that the platform delivers, and the platform will continue to evolve. It was very well thought out. This is not we built it, then we add on bolt-on features and capabilities later on. Mohit actually went through this and saw this through, right? The layers and some of the things that we're able to do. But some of the use cases may start just in the data protection, but when you see the things that we do with regards to data mobility, with cloud adoption, cloud, you know, portability and all that stuff, and then the NAS, file NAS use case that we have for the type of data and applications that we support, become very appealing. And you don't have to get them right now. You don't have to buy the whole thing for now. Another of the important factors about Cohesity is the fact that we're not a rip and replace approach. It's not our way or the highway. You can start, and we complement the infrastructure that you currently accept, your sunk cost, your current investment. And as you're weaving out of licenses and things of that nature, maybe if we have what you need, you can actually use the same platform for the other use cases that you may want.
So this was some of the early use for Cohesity was that you could be a destination for another backup product, but just get the data inside the Cohesity platform, and then as it suited the business, you could start using the Cohesity feature set to protect more data directly without the third party.
I mean, think about it. Who does that, right? I mean, the reality is that in the enterprise, one of the biggest mistakes is that, you know, someone comes and tries to sell a product, and it's a rip and replace approach. No one likes it in the enterprise. We're not about to rip and replace anything, unless they do sometimes, but it's not the approach, the desired approach. We complement even competitors, right? If you want to say, look, if one of those particular use cases that you're satisfying, one of those investments you made is going to end of life, you can consider using Cohesity as a target, because our space efficiency features are implemented in a way that are not, you know, they're new, they're modern, not in the way that was implemented 20, 30 years ago, which is why the advance in technology and some of the things that we do are greater than some of the options that are available today.
Well, that's the time we have. Thank you very much, Rawlinson. And thank you for joining us. It's been a great little conversation with Rawlinson, and stay tuned for more Build Day Live at Cohesity content as we publish it all out.